Today is Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. It's a good day to join a cult. Welcome to Wizard Wednesday, channeling in from the Quantum Downs. This is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and right next to me is...
the Orange Puppet Dotta, and joining me in the shadows,
Business Bear,
and
reporting for duty.
We've got another speaker up here, Bear.
And
Mike's off Ted.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Tad?
What's up, Ted? All right. Let's do this. We've got a lot of cult questions today. We've got some really exciting announcements that we are not going to make today.
Not again.
So I guess let's just jump right into cult.
I'll tell you one thing is I've been spending just tons of time on Magic Eden now. Like, I never go to OpenSea. Do you guys go to OpenSea anymore?
No, I don't.
It's
I'm
a
about
year
half
later.
and half.
It's a year later, and OpenSea still doesn't support ordinals. Do you realize that? Like, I mean,
did they give up? Maybe they gave up.
it's kind of embarrassing. Which
OpenSea, launch the token and then just bounce. I think that's your best
support
move.
ordinals. I can't believe it. But
I think they heard that OPC is coming for them, and so they're just giving up.
Win OPC token.
soon.
Wait, what's OPC? I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
You do.
Yeah, you do. When I misspelled OPC.
Don't make me pin it to the top.
Please, God,
funny.
don't. I shouldn't have brought it up. I was trying to make a joke.
That's funny.
It's like summer of 21 on ordinals right now, right? It's like, it's crazy. Like the other day, Bitcoin slugs were like $800. Like really, I think what happens is with ordinals, the unit bias is like really ridiculous. And so you're like, oh, it's just 0.01 of a Bitcoin. Like, that's so cheap. And then like you look at it in dollar terms and you like can't believe, it's like a month's worth of groceries or something. So,
why do you got to talk smack on Bitcoin slugs, Dodo? They should be one Bitcoin each.
I know. I probably should buy some. I don't have any yet. Do you have some?
No, I have no Bitcoin slugs, but I'm about to go get some.
Yeah.
Elf, what's going on with you, dude? What's up?
Yeah. What ordinals did you buy this week?
Okay, controversial statement. I think I'm just going to stay out of the whole ordinals thing. The shadows are the only ones I really like. And beyond that, I just buy NFTs on Tezos nowadays. Call me a weirdo.
You are a weirdo.
I mean, that's an artist. That's an artist move. I really, really love so much of the Tezos art. I just wish that they would move to a platform that like has liquidity, right? Like, I think that like one of the things I see on Tezos is there's a lot of artists who are like insanely prolific, talented. Jits and I were just talking about one this week. Jitsy, come up here, by the way. And he has this like incredible piece, and but he has it like set on like an infinite edition, right? And so he's like selling them for $20 on an infinite edition. These like incredible, Fidenza like pieces that are amazing. And but he just doesn't have any sort of like well, I mean this in the nicest way possible. He just doesn't have any sort of like business sense with regards to like how collections sell out. And I just want to like fix him. Like, I just want to like reach out to him in the DMs and be like, bro, like, let's take this. We'll make a collection, but I don't have time to do any of this. But like, I really, really want to see it work.
It's been a spiral.
It's going to spiral. So Jitsi and I are in a spiral right now with the Dark Fortress collection that we did yesterday.
It's so cool.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw it. It looks pretty cool.
It looks so good. And the artist is like up and coming. They're like just making their way through NFTs, and they minted on this website called New
Frontier Art.
Yeah, and like it's fine. It's early. Building new things are hard. Fine, whatever. Like it doesn't really work very well. But that's not the issue actually. Like they'll get better. But they basically have like blocking. They have marketplaces blocked. So, for example, they won't allow us to actually list and trade on Magic Eden, and so I just feel bad for the creator because it's going to like die on the vine because their website barely works, and there's like all this attention on these really really cool Fortress pieces. We tweeted about them. Adam Hollander retweeted, and it sold out. When we started minting, because I think it was Igdul that told us, and then Jitsi told us from there. We started minting. There was only like 20 minted out. We're like, these are incredible. They're criminally underpriced. We tweet about them. They mint out, and then, but now there's like zero volume because like the websites don't work, and the team. Whatever. I'm not going to call them out right here on Wizard Wednesday, but they haven't exactly been very responsive to our request. So whatever. If you, I really, really like Tezos and the generative art there. I really, really like these kinds of pieces, but I just don't think that you're going to make money on Tezos. You're just going to like collect art that you like.
No, most likely not. And
Yeah.
I never buy a piece of or any NFT to make money. I only buy it if I like it. I don't even know if I've ever sold a single NFT that I've bought.
Oh,
Never?
I don't think I've ever sold a single one.
That's impressive.
yeah.
I'm sure the cult's gonna dig into my wallet and find one and call me out. But like, for the most part, no.
Funny. I like to flip them because I feel like, especially like, well, just like being in charge of the tokenomics for our own project, it's helpful for me to like keep up my finger on the pulse, right? Like even if it's not, even like helps me understand what moves, help me understand the psychology better, helps me understand the pain of spending 15 ETH on a moonbird, um, and like really really feel that deeply. So I don't know.
No, I feel you on that. I like the treasure hunt aspect of it all. It's like what keeps me going. Like I cannot partake in 90% of the communities that I ever buy into, but I just like love this idea of like finding the next gem that's underappreciated for the right values. So I'm like right there with you.
I will say, not to pivot the conversation, but I think some of us were talking about it in the company Discord this morning. I do think everything is going to follow suit, and I do think, and this isn't financial advice, Dotta. You have to tell me what to say after I say this, so I don't get into trouble. But like Dotta's like, but I do think things will like rotate. I fully believe things will rotate into ETH, and follow and sit next to ordinals. I think there's just ETH will hopefully. I think will
Yeah.
rip. I think ETH will rip, and then it will just pivot, and then just do the normal cycle and wash through everything.
Okay, yeah. So I'm speaking in terms of the broader market, NFTs on ETH as a general asset class. I'm not
And
speaking
so was
about
Bear.
Forgotten Runes specifically, but it's always this way, right? It's like, oh, the new thing is the future of finance and the old thing is trash. And then like the old thing prices fall to trash prices and people are like, okay, that's ridiculous. This is undervalued. And then like new creators build on the old platform and it's just like it's a seesaw of kind of attention. So like, yeah, exactly. Like we'll run through this cycle. Look, everyone should remember the secrets of crypto like cycle graph, right? Like someone pull that up and share the tweet, which is like that's exactly what's happening right now. It always goes this way. Bitcoin always goes first. It's just now we have NFTs on Bitcoin. And so it's the first time really, right? So you're getting this kind of like NFT summer on Bitcoin now. Bitcoin goes first, right? And then the next in line you get ETH, right? And so we get, for example, an ETH ETF, and you have another movement in ETH. Then you get sort of the alt L ones. Right now, maybe we have actually Solana as a third place. So, yeah, it's like go read Vitalik's blog posts. Go look at like the roadmap for Ethereum. Like it's clearly not that Ethereum is over forever. It's just not the thing of the moment.
It's kind of honestly, it's kind of human nature. It used to happen when I worked, when me and Elf worked at that big YouTube-based company. I remember people that we worked with are like, TV's going to be like destroyed. No one's going to watch like long-form shows, and this is the way of the future. And it's like, you know what? That's so not true. It's going to sit next to it. It will be different. Just like theater, like there's all kinds of entertainment, and like human nature is like whatever the new thing is going to destroy everything else. And it's just not the case. It's different, and it sits next to it, and it creates niche audiences that like care about different things. And I don't know. It's really interesting from like a psychological standpoint.
Yeah, I do think that if people are like looking to kind of grow their wealth as fast as possible, right? That like, um, there's like you see different rates of change in different areas right now. So, for example, like I'm more likely, for example, to mint a new collection on Ordinals that's on the front page of Magic Eden than a new collection that's on ETH. It's on the front page of OpenSea, right? Like again, I haven't looked at OpenSea in like weeks. Um, so I can understand that in terms of like a more short-term thinking, but in terms of like, the projects that become a major standout are the ones that bring something substantial and singularly interesting over a long period of time. And so, I'm not that worried about it. I shared, I oh, sorry, I shared the secrets of crypto alt season. If you're like new to
It's a
this
good
market
series.
or whatever, and you haven't you're not memorized this, memorize it. And it's just so clear to me that we're in phase one, Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
It's just now we have NFTs. So sorry, go ahead, Jits.
No, I was just say breaking news.
Ooh.
Rosebell's collection, Dark Fortress, will be able to be listed on Magic Eden here shortly. They approved it, so
Hey,
we gone done it. So that was
It's
fun and
Cobalt
experience.
season.
amazing.
Yeah, Dylan and I were there for a long time talking with them, and just cool to see. So good job. Happy for Ros. I'm trying to get Roswell to get like a warrior or something. I think they will. They're super cool. They're super nice. They came into the Discord yesterday, but I think it was like in a moment of chaos, it's like really nice to have a moment where we just like did something for an artist and they like are baffled by the support from the cult. So pretty cool to see.
And then they were like, "What is Forgotten Runes?" And
Right.
then everybody started to retweet it. It was pretty cool.
I just remembered the one NFT I sold.
I know
and it
what
was
it is.
probably one of the most fun times at Magic Machine when
Yep.
Bear got us all on the mint list for Art Gobblers.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna
That's like-
say, how is an art goblin singing your wallet still like
Yeah.
elf? I was gonna say it, but
I don't
Wait,
remember if we sold those for 4 ETH or like 16 ETH. It was like really ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I sold mine for 12. Within like 5 minutes of minting it. It was amazing.
That is wild.
Yeah, there's a competition now at Magic Machine between Bear and Jitsi on who can get us on the best mint list for the bull run. So
we also have another competition running. Jitsu, you want to talk about that for a minute?
what competition?
You know what I'm talking about. Come on,
uh,
you said I could have your firstborn if Doodles end up being Renga.
Oh, yeah, I did say. I don't know about firstborn, maybe like seventhborn if I ever get there. Just to,
You can have
but,
his cow.
Yeah, can I have your cow? I get your cow. Or I
That's a
get to
tough
milk
bet.
your. I get to milk your cow. You can keep the cow. I just get.
You
to
could
milk
do
it.
that one for free. So,
it's a milk cow. You can milk it.
But Jizzy, where are we? Where are we on that?
I
Like, for
think
real?
you're winning.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
I
Wait,
was
wait, what?
wrong.
Wait, it's Doodles versus what?
It's Doodle versus Ranga. I thought Ranga would run a lot harder, but I've come to the
Ooh.
conclusion that if you follow an artist blindly and it's just an artist, you're gonna get in trouble when it comes to a floor price.
It wasn't clear when you made that bet for sure. Both projects have had their own share of rocky times. So
I don't know. I feel like everybody was crapping all over my face when I made that bet.
The IP
But
is better, you're right, but like we all saw how they handled the situation with crypto Twitter, and that like was a very loud screw you guys. So I just took
we
a
don't
different
talk
bet.
about such things, Jitsi. Stop funding my bag.
Don't worry, already up compared to mine, so I want to hear it.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't
I have
know.
a bunch
I
of
think
cult
Floor and
questions.
GTFO is like still one of the most iconic phrases in this space. But
Yeah, it's true.
Can I start with the cult questions? And this one's for Bear.
Sure.
And it's honestly it's a question that I think is on everybody's mind, but nobody has the courage to ask
What? God damn it.
for
Okay.
Slim. Slim wants to know, Bearsnake, why do you stink so much?
Why do I stink so much? My wife asked me that a lot. I don't know. I shower every day. I still just reek. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm
think you
sorry
smelled
for all
just
my
fine.
friends and family.
No, you smell just fine.
All right. Well, there's your answer, Slim. He just doesn't know.
Slim asking the important question.
It's genetic.
Okay. Let's see. There's a bunch more questions. Let me see. There's a bunch of lore questions, but I don't want to do a lore question just yet. Justin has a really fun question. He says, will the comic/TV series have nice power scaling fights so that we can start arguing with other fandoms about our characters versus theirs? So Justin, okay, when Justin says power scaling fights, what I think he means is like the kind of fights you see in Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or One Piece, where like a single fight will last like 5 episodes and it just gets more and more intense every episode. Um, Justin, I think we should definitely write some of those into a few episodes. If you have ever watched John Wick or Nobody, you know that Derek Kolstad loves to write fight scenes. And so, yeah, I mean, I think we'll definitely have some badass, magic-filled wizard fight scenes.
And I feel like there's some storylines in season 1 that actually play to exactly that. Where we can be, we're coming
Yes.
back, and you know what I'm saying. I wink, wink, wink. You know what I'm talking
No,
about.
there's one fight scene in particular that I'm very excited to put on the screen. Let's just say it that way. So the answer is yes, Justin. Okay, question from Crucifor. What is your stance on honoraries from other projects? Do you prefer to be asked first? Do you prefer it to be a surprise, gifted to you, or mixed into the main mint and the public? Discuss.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about this the other day, Dotta, right?
Yeah. Okay, a few things. So I just love getting honoraries. I feel like I feel totally honored ever to like have a piece where someone took the time to like call out my attention. I just feel like forever grateful for that. I don't think I'll ever stop just feeling like amazed that people would do a rendition of Dota. I think I also just like love, when we talk about, for example, like the Spider-Man. Remember how we talked about like in the leaked Sony documents how they have like the brand guidelines for Spider-Man,
Yep.
and what I love to see is like reflected back what people see as kind of the essence of Dota, and when you and just because it's my like character, I guess, and just seeing that spread off across like a dozen or 2 dozen different variations and interpretations from other artists is like just one of my favorite things, and it even helps solidify for me kind of the essence there. So I love seeing it. If people want to ask, that's fine. I actually love getting them as a surprise. The art is a surprise. I think that like when someone asks if you want an honorary, 9 times out of 10, it's because I don't want to say it's like a bait and switch, but that's the word that comes to mind. It ends up being a bait and switch where they're like, yes, I would love that. Thank you. And then they follow up with a request and they're like, okay, great. Can you tweet about it? And then you feel like a bit sheepish because it's like, well, how can I not be reciprocal when you just gave me this like great honor, right? But then you feel a little bit like it feels a little icky sometimes. And and then I'll just tell people, I'll tweet about it if I kind of, like the project, try to do a bit of like due diligence or whatever. So I do also think that it's important that the honoraries are in a separate collection. That seems to be best practice right now. I think mixing them in the main collection is a little weird. Like we did it, of course, in 21, but I think now people kind of realize it should be a separate collection. I never sell my honoraries. I've never sold an honorary. I think that's like crazy. Like I didn't even
Yeah.
realize people sold their honoraries until recently. Like how weird is that? Like someone made you something of your own image and you're just like cashing it in
Sell it
and
for
then someone else
$200.
yeah, I just
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. That's what I was gonna say. If you're asking my preference, I like to be asked first, and then I like to have it gifted to me. And my promise to you is that I will never sell it. Yeah, I would never sell an honorary.
I'm always going to tweet something that I love, right? And so like
Yep.
I feel like if someone sends me something that I love, then I'm going to share about it, and then even if it's an honorary but I like don't love it, then I'm not necessarily it just doesn't feel right if you just don't even like it,
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm selling it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm selling it. Yeah.
Donna, how did you get that one crypto project to use your puppet as their like mascot.
Avax?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so weird.
There's
It's
another
so weird.
that like lives in it like in like the Pepe ecosystem that's like very similar to Dota's character. So I think it's like
Interesting.
aligned. The stars aligned with that one.
It's
Yeah,
so
there's a Matt
weird.
Fury. There's a Matt Fury character, right? That's like orange with sunglasses.
Correct.
Right.
All right. Okay, more questions. Speaking of honoraries in our characters, Night Owl Birdman is asking me a question that he's been asking me for over a year. When goat lore? Birdman. So I think I did give my lore in One Wizard Wednesday. I don't know, a few months ago, but yeah, I did not put it into the book of lore yet. I will. But I just want everybody to know is no, we're not going to put our character's lore into the show. I think what we might do is do like a little Stan Lee type cameo, but no, I don't think I'm going to put my character's storyline into any of the episodes. So yeah, and just for the record, like there's a goat in the trailer. That's not my goat. If you notice, that goat has a white wraith cloth. Mine has a black one, so it's not my goat in the trailer.
That's a shame because that goat looks dope.
It's a dope goat. It's true.
Dope goat. I'm gonna
Dope
make that.
goat.
I'm gonna put that on a shirt and send it to you.
Okay, thanks.
Dope goat.
Hell yeah. Okay. Blackwater says, "How are we bringing this game to the masses?" I don't know if we can even answer that question. I mean, I know we have a plan, but I don't know if we want to say the plan.
So we can talk a little bit about it. I mean, Matto's up here.
Okay. Matter, you got anything to add to or to say?
Not too much right now. I'm actually like finish up a meeting and kind of listening passively, but I was just gonna join in just so that way I can get ahead of the game. And also to mention that for Elf that actually the character that's being used in the for Avalanche, it's actually like a Matt Fury. It's like one of like Pepe's pals that it just happens to be very close looking to Dota. And so all of the edits they make especially look very similar to Dota. So it's just very nice happenstance. But yeah, it's like they've made so many like it's like pretty much perfect Dota edits.
Interesting. Okay. So they stole it from Matt Fury, not from Dota. Got it. That's cool.
There's, I mean, regarding the game, lots going on. I think we're just going to talk ourselves into a corner because we can't bring up certain things, and I know it seems like it's taking forever. Trust me, we know we want to fast forward the time, but I feel really. I mean, there's nothing else besides like I feel really good about where we're going, what the plan is, and we just appreciate the patience. You know, good things just take a long time, and sometimes you can get impatient. I understand that, but I don't know. I know that me and Dodo are working on it, and by Sonic are really focused on pushing some stuff through that. Hopefully, we'll talk about soon.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't been in a lot of meetings today because like actually we're doing like internal play testing for what's going to be the next build. So I know like I've been saying soon we'll be getting a date. We definitely will. Just like I said, like we want to get a little leeway. We want to make sure that when we announce it, we have like the exact date set down. So like the testing that we're doing this week is for the build that's going to be coming up. So we'll have a better heads or tails on like if it needs a little bit more, like maybe like a week more polishing or not. But so we'll see. I definitely want to give a date. Hopefully, I'm looking for next week before I get a date to finalize nail in. So please just be a little patient. But Runeverse is definitely coming and very soon. So
yeah, lately at Magic Machine, we've been talking about how Wizard Wednesday gets us in trouble because we announce things too soon. Speaking of which, Flu is asking, how close are we to the Warrior event? It'll be perfect to be in this green market. So, Flu,
This is the downside. This is the downside to doing Wizard Wednesday every week.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, Flu. Sorry, we might be having to push the Warrior event by like I don't know, maybe a month, just because other things have popped up, and that's all I can say. Unless Dota, you want to add anything or Bear?
just like priorities, right? Like like in this space, things move so fast that you have to be careful about reprioritizing too much. But I think ultimately, I think some of the hardest parts of like the team's job is juggling what is the priority, and making sure like we're making progress and not just like jumping from one thing to the other, which I don't think we are. It's just everything that we plan takes a long time.
Yeah, and just this industry moves so fast. New things pop up like on out of nowhere, and sometimes you just have to pivot and refocus. Okay. All right, let's do some lore questions. My favorite kind of questions. So Snoop Dogg is asking, are all of the beasts immortal or just one of them? And also, any of the wizards or souls immortal? Okay, so the beasts. Yeah, I mean, I think Quantum Ouroboros is really the only truly immortal one. Um, I do think that the Seven-Tail Kitsune and the Nightmare Imp, I think they are close to immortality. They're both very, very old, and I'm not sure that they can be totally killed. But I think the rest of them are definitely mortal. I there's a lot of really fun storyline that's being developed specifically around the beasts. Um, and as I said last Wizard Wednesday, the biggest task on my plate right now is I'm creating sort of a master lore website, and it touches on this topic as well as many others that maybe I'll talk about later in the show. But yeah, so that is the answers the beast immortality question. As far as the wizards and souls, I think wizards and souls are forever. I don't know if that's synonymous with the word immortal, but really, it's up to the holder to really decide the immortality of their character that they own. I think
There is at least one wizard who has come back from the dead, so there's that.
that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, that
Shout out
wizard
to
is
Oberon.
legendary.
Shout out to Oberon.
Shout out to Oberon. Yes, exactly. Okay, Oz is asking, is there a known anti-magic element in the Runeverse? Oz, this is another thing I've been writing about in this lore document. I think technology you could position as sort of anti-magic. Um, as I've talked about before, there's a big there's a lot of tension between the force of magic and the force of technology. And so I guess you could call magic sort of anti-technology.
And
Uh,
cucumber dogs.
and definitely Cucum dogs. I mean, they're just kind of anti-everything. It is probably the most profane thing in the Runeverse, Cucum dogs. Thanks a lot, Cheddar Bob. Okay. Oh, and then one more lore question. V-Mark is asking, will there be anything else coming from the Infinity Veil apart from the Sacred Flame? And is there any relation between it and the Quantum Ouroboros? So the Infinity Veil is it's it's shown in that famous Flammarion engraving. You can see that on the banner of the OpenSea page for the Infinity Veil contract. And it's an image of a man looking through the firmament and seeing the infinite cosmos. Um, only the most divine relics and magical items can be taken from the Infinity Veil, and the Sacred Flame is one of those. You could think of it sort of similar to the flame that Prometheus brought from Mount Olympus. And then the Quantum Ouroboros is the deity of space time. Um, it's these dual dragons. They know all of space, all of time, and so that includes space time on both sides of the Infinity Veil. So I'd say that's probably the extent of this relationship. But again, I'm writing a lot about what exactly the Quantum Ouroboros is, what the Sacred Flames are, and so all of that really deep involved lore is coming. Okay, I think that's all the questions I see. I'm probably I need to scroll through and I missed some, but But Dotta and Bear, if you want to fill some spaces, I'm scrolling.
So there's a question about Goblin Town. Yeah, Goblin Town is on hold for the second being. There's a couple. We're gonna do the Runeverse event first, basically. So yeah, hang tight there.
Oh, Meeple Dad is asking, what kind of merch do you want to see in the next community merch treasure show? Meeple, that's so fun you asked that. I was literally just looking through the box you sent the other day, and I can't believe you made that. It was so cool. Like, even the box itself was just awesome. Man, what kind of merch do I want to see? I don't know. I really, I think you can't beat a good T-shirt with just like some fun cult content on it. I'm gonna have to think about that.
I still love beanies. Someone was, I know that this is a hot topic from the last cycle, but someone was pitching me in Denver why I should have a fanny pack, and just like full circle after all the Moonbird stuff. But like Moron Capital made a fanny pack, and it's incredible.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
I love it.
I wear it also often, and it's amazing. And also, I just ordered a treasure trove from Meeple. Apparently, there's like a couple left in a dusty closet somewhere, and I believe I'm
Nice.
going to have the coolest hat in town.
That's great. No, Meeple Dad, I love the treasure trove. Let me think about anything I'd like to see in it. That was just such an awesome project, though. But I think the fanny pack is a good idea too. Yeah, I still have my Moron fanny pack. It's a beautiful piece of cult merch. Okay, yeah, I guess that's all the cult questions. You guys excited for this bull market?
It's so much more fun.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not.
Why?
Jitsi, tell us why.
Jitsy's scared.
I'm also with
Why do you
Jitsi.
not?
Oh,
But it is
man.
fun.
I like in the bear market, I feel like I had conversations with people. Like, obviously, no one's making as much money, but I just like it was very like nice. And I already have a chaotic, like, I already stay up till 3 o'clock regularly. And then when the bull like kicks in, I'm like up for hours on end. And like, I know just how I am in the bull market, which is like 4 hours of sleep, 18 hours of work and degenning. So I'm just like not prepared for how much like crazier it's going to be from last cycle, I guess. That being said, I'm probably going to love it. I've like really enjoyed, like I only had 2 monitors up during the bear. I put my third one up just to put graphs up. So it's just like, I love this element of just like being in my battle station. It's like where I thrive. So like, I mean, the team can tell everybody here that like, I just sit in front of these monitors. Basically I'll be at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm like typing in the Discord chat. Like no one's there, just talking to myself about things I'm seeing. And like my entire team probably thinks I'm just batshit crazy. But I really do enjoy it, so I just like need to be able to chill out a little bit. But I am excited, but I like the bear a lot. I like the bear a lot.
But Jitsi, first of all, nobody is forcing you to degen this hard. Number one.
This is
Number
true.
Number two. I love there. Like, yeah, what Jitsi said is totally true. Sometimes in the Magic Machine Discord, he will send like this impassioned 7-paragraph rant about how much he loves Forgotten Runes and how much he's just like in it, and it'll be at like anywhere from like 8 at night till or 3 o'clock in the morning that he'll send these, and it just really warms my heart, Jitsi. So you can keep that up.
Oblige.
But
That's
yeah.
called team right there. That's called commitment and love.
Yeah. So okay, so let me ask the team. What do you guys think? Are we in for the so-called left translated cycle where we peak early, or is it the legendary super cycle? Which one?
I mean, I have my I have a take.
Give it to us.
Let's hear it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be blazing hot and last a lot less, a lot less than last time. I think it's gonna run hot and be relatively short.
Give us a date. When do you think we peak?
A date, dang. That's
A
deep.
date.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna give you a rate. Can I give you a range?
Give me a range.
I think I think it could peak at like the end of. And Dotta, am I allowed to? You're my lawyer. Am I allowed to talk about this? I'm not giving
We're just
advice.
talking about the general market.
We're just talking about the general market.
It's just a.
Just don't talk about
I don't
Forgotten
even know
Runes.
what is Forgotten Runes.
Yeah.
What do you think? Q4 of this year?
I think it's gonna peak in like September ish.
Okay. Okay.
And then I think it could dive anywhere between December and like February and like go back down. I do think we'll be net positive. You know, it's like we'll run real hot, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna come back down. And then, even when we come back down, we're gonna be above. We're not like going to like $15,000 Bitcoin, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that we're still going to be guided by macro, and I think that there's a good chance that the Federal Reserve tries to curb inflation by keeping rates high and like continuing trying to do quantitative tightening. But like in reality, what's happening is they're already stressing the banks pretty hard. The banks are pressing back as well. And so so one of the things that you can see if you look at the like the treasuries auctions, what you're actually finding is I don't know how much people care about this, but like what you're finding is with the treasury auctions, actually um, that they're not selling out as quick as they would like, right? Okay, you can think of the Federal Reserve as like almost like a staking mechanism or something, where people are they're basically issuing new like token sales, and then like people buy the tokens for like future yield, right? And what is actually happening is there's like an auction, right? Like a balancer pool for like the United States government's treasuries. I'm speaking like very high level here, just to keep it like broad. And what's happening is that like the auction price on the interest that the government has to pay effectively is going up and up and up and up, because the people who are able to buy these billions of dollars of like treasuries, I'm speaking again really roughly, is getting smaller. The appetite is getting smaller and smaller, and so they're having to pay more and more to entice people to buy it. And so that's like actually a really terrible situation for our country, insofar as like that like there you need that debt to pay for the budget. And so if people don't want to pay for that debt except for really expensive interest, now our country is going to have a lot of interest to pay, right? So what's basically happening is that the Federal Reserve is essentially going to have to do they're trying to do quantitative tightening on one hand, but they're also going to they're going to be forced into doing quantitative easing with the other hand, which is terrible for our grocery bills, right? It's going to be awful for inflation, but it's going to be amazing for our bags. It's going to be great for our bags, because what basically happens when you have quantitative easing is like assets, like risk on assets like tech stocks and crypto go crazy. And so I don't know, I just don't like, I think that it's going to run hotter for longer and like take out some profits, I guess, but you're going to need them because your grocery bill is going to be like super expensive.
Yeah, I really like Raoul Pal's his whole theory around the business cycle and the liquidity cycle. And he gives it about a 60, I think he said a 60% chance of just like the cycle plays out as normal, which would be like a Q2, Q3 peak in 2025. So, but I don't know. I mean, the left translated cycle, there's a lot of, I guess, evidence for that as well. It's impossible to say.
Whoever has an orb in the Wizard collection should come up here and tell us what the orb has to say.
Yep.
I feel like the Fed has been in this like between rock and a hard place for like a long time now, and I feel like it's kind of like grinding like even harder. And I feel like that's part of like what's catapulting all this. Like they've had this tough decision of like what to do with rates, because like either way it feels like they're gonna break something, and it feels like they have the decision of like what do they want to break first. And right, and it also feels like leading into this 2024 election, I feel like there's going to be more of an appetite for them to let it ride and kind of like let people feel like they're wealthy, at least until the elections close out. So that way people feel like, they're in higher spirits. I feel like that's part of what's going to happen. Like maybe that's part of like my bias, but I feel as if like, just like, and like high level kind of like government cabal talking. It's like, I feel like they won't want to let this gravy train run dry like right before election starts, and then they realize, oh crap, everyone's pissed off, and we're about to have an election. We don't want that. So.
Well, the good news is that Janet Yellen said they're not going to try regulation anymore. They're just going to ape a fat sack.
Right.
So,
right. And I feel like that's like the precursor to it. Like they're kind of like giving the early signal that's like, you guys get a free ride for a bit. We're gonna kind of let you guys, off the hook a little.
I pinned the tweet what I'm talking about.
But like, Give a Hoot mentions in Discord, which is that like treasuries are staking your US dollars. That's literally what it is.
If you don't know where the yield comes from, you are the yield.
Right. Yeah. And like if you look at like Ohm and all these other projects, right? Like you're like, wait, that is our whole country. The staking mechanisms for the Federal Reserve are actually like less sophisticated than some of the staking mechanisms we have in DeFi.
Yeah, that's actually funny. I think that's actually a point that I think was used for Ohm, that they were kind of like, when they were first marketing, they were pretty much like, this is like pretty much like what we're doing is pretty much like what the Treasury is doing. So that's how they got a lot of confidence with it. It's like, we're not doing anything really like bizarre. If it sounds bizarre, that's cool, but that's what your country is doing anyway.
Yeah. Yeesh. At least we have a navy, right? So that's got to count for something.
Nico is asking what meme coin you eyeing for Bull Run.
Pepe.
Nico, it's all about Soda 404.
Yeah. RFK. $sign RFK.
Okay, I don't know if we're boring people about talking about like Federal Reserve and shit like that.
No, this is what everybody wants to talk about. Okay, so here's my alpha. Here's my alpha that I have. That I think. I have Ample. I think Ample is really.
You just like it because they're using your puppet as their mascot.
No, that's different.
That's AVAX.
That's different.
That's different.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a bag of Ample, but I think it's going to be a slower mover. It's going to take some time for the thesis to play out, but it's a decentralized stablecoin, an algorithmic stablecoin. I basically think that Lunaterra was a good idea, and it was a good idea implemented improperly. And I think Ample stands a good chance at being a fully decentralized stablecoin. So check it out. What about your picks? What about your picks?
Jitsi, come on.
I've been trying to narrow mine down so much in the last 24 hours. I actually played this local top perfectly, and now I'm getting nervous because I think it's just going to rip again, so I have to reallocate. But I have an edge in gaming, and I'm really just like there's like 4 ecosystems that I want to be a part of through gaming. And it's more just like I can diversify through those 4, and I think they all run accordingly. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, if I'm just going to talk about just gaming, because the rest, whatever. Like, I'm a big Pepe believer, and it doesn't matter, but these are the ones that I'm really interested in. It's going to be, and there's faults with each one of these, right? Like, I was looking at the ecosystems yesterday, like at 2:00 in the morning, in depth of like, what IP do I actually like here, and who at like the heart of it all is like doing it correctly. And I don't think any one of these ecosystems has all of it. Like, first and foremost, it's very difficult to find like who's going to win this, right? So in my mind, it's IMX, it's Ron, it's Magic, and then there's the 4th one that I'm probably blanking on. And then I also have Prime, like a lot of Prime. And there's like one more I'm missing out there too. That's like another. What's the last big ecosystem? What did IMX, Ron? AVAX.
I have AVAX too. I heard Mog was gonna make a game.
I have AVAX. They bought some really good IP, but those are the ones that are like my horses. Maybe there's a couple games here and there that I'm gonna put into, but those are my picks. Like, because everything else is a shit show for me.
It's hard for me to understand. Like, I'm such a boomer that like I get hung up on FDV, and so like with Prime, for example, I don't know what a fair valuation for them is, because I think the mistake that people make with Prime is thinking that it's just a card game, and it's really not. Like, they have a whole ecosystem and of like games. They've got like Colony, which is like they're building AI. Like, Prime is getting valued actually as like an AI coin as well, right? It's not just like a card game. But even more than that, the Prime, the Prime team is incredible. We've had some calls with
Kalos,
Temple Crash, and the dude is like next level. he's like just intellectually running circles around me, but at the same time being like incredibly kind and generous and like intelligent and thoughtful. The dude is like a machine. So it's like no wonder that with him on the team that I assume his other like coworkers are similar, but their team is just so good. So I wouldn't
Yeah,
short
it's
Prime.
tough.
That's
Oh,
for sure.
Zai's the last one. That's the last one.
Zai, yeah.
Oh,
Sobe. Sobe's
Zai.
crushing it right
Yeah.
Yeah.
now.
Don't
So
bet
those are
against
all my
Sobe,
gaming bets.
yeah.
Beyond that, it's just like I'm doing guessing work, but those are my game winners.
That's good to know. I'm not really. Yeah, it's not really my like expert area in terms of trading.
I think for me, I think there are a lot of DeFi plays that I feel like were kind of overlooked or undervalued that got like tanked really hard in the bear market. And I feel like with a lot more attention coming to chains, like I feel like there's like, especially when there's like more financial people coming in from like the ETF and stuff, and there's more like kind of like eyes on like how you can make more money within crypto. I feel like more sophisticated people will look into how they can actually like earn yield and stuff. And I feel like there's going to be like another like boom with DeFi that's like kind of ramping up. You kind of see that a little bit, like Uniswap. I feel like they recently posted like, oh hey, like we're finally going to like probably turn on fees for like token holders, and like they're skyrocketing now from it, like kind of like silently, like people aren't really talking about it, but like they are moving up really hard off of that news. And I feel like that's one. I feel like sushi is really undervalued because like I mean they've had like a lot of like their drama, and like their token is like $1.90. That's like so far off from the top that they've had like $23, right? And I feel like a part of a lot of why sushi fell was because like they had like a lot of like drama like internally with the team,
Yeah.
but the protocol is still really good, like, and it does like a lot. And I feel like it's way undervalued for what it is and what it does. It's just that they need to get like together with like their marketing and like with their team and kind of like their like their optics for like what they are, and kind of like get it out there. Like you can like cross chain bridge with them easily. They have like they're on like every bridge that's available. They already give fees to everybody that holds their token. So it's like that's one. And then there's also like Curve, and Curve is kind of ripping a little bit right now because like there's a lot of, especially like stables, people are like doing a lot of stable trades, and I feel like stables are always going to be relevant. And people are going to like always want to get those fees from Curve. So like stuff like that, I feel like those DeFi plays, I feel like they're a little undervalued, and they're starting to get a little attention right now from this bull, from like the start of it. I feel like they're gonna rip even harder, like when people start actually when they're like done with the memes, they make their money from the memes, and they're like, all right, I want to park my money in something that's safe now instead of just like throwing it constantly into the casino, right? I feel like they're gonna be like, all right, what's some stuff that's battle tested, gotten people a lot of returns before, and like I can just park my money in there and kind of just earn yield. And I feel like they're gonna look into DeFi for that. So that's my thought.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, yeah, and when you look at that the secrets of crypto chart too, that's totally the order that you're talking about, right? It's like we get Bitcoin, we get Ethereum, now we get these large caps like Curve, Sushi, Uni, right? And then I think the memes are interesting. The memes don't really fit straight into the secrets chart because like I just feel like meme coins are evergreen now. Like it's been kind of weird. We don't really have like a meme season. It's been really constant since like I don't know Doge of
Yeah,
last
yeah.
couple
Actually,
of
it has.
years.
I think it has its spurts where like like right now we're definitely got like a hot point of it. I feel like they still kind of like
Yeah.
level off like certain points. And then, like there's certain points where they run hard, but like there's not really points where like they feel like they're dead. There's always like some new meme that comes up. And, like
Solana is
sometimes
printing memes at this point. I actually
oh
think
yeah,
Solana will be the meme printer throughout
Really?
this entire cycle. It's just baffling how many. There's a younger audience over there that's willing to gamble harder and for a longer amount of time. And with that, they're not being like crazy gas fees, which I mean, I think gas is a feature, not a bug to a certain extent. Like they're just going off on it left and right. Like it's absurd. Some of the people that have messaging me, some of them out in the crowd even right now, that like show me a meme, and I'm just like, bro, this has been only 5 minutes since the last one's dropped on Solana. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, like this morning there was a lot of like funny name political
Oh yeah,
memes. So like I bought like Ron Burt Kennedy Jr. on Soul, and like there was just all of them, right? Like
Joe Biden
Joe Borden or
ran
whatever.
like an
Bowden,
80x in like 2 days.
yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Biden really ran.
Yeah, it kind of mirrors like if you remember last cycle, this is kind of like what happened when Binance Smart Chain came out, and it was like all of a sudden people have like low fees that they can like just gamble on like the most degen crap ever, and then you just see like people like I did like a whole bunch of people were coming up with like why not Pikachu coin and stuff. It was very funny. Like there was like a Pokemon coin season back then. But yeah, that was like the Binance chain, and like now I think like Solana is fitting in that, and it fits it a lot better because like the fees are actually cheaper and it doesn't and it doesn't break as constantly as Binance Chain used to, which is actually kind of ironic and funny. And it also feels like it's less like, because Binance Chain is obviously like, there's kind of centralized, run by like maybe like 10 nodes or whatever the hell. So I feel like, and it's a lot easier barrier of entry, I think. So I feel like Solana definitely stays relevant, and I like, definitely I feel like, at least get some Solana if you haven't gotten into it. Like, it's gonna stay as a relevant ecosystem, regardless of where we go.
It's going to be interesting to see what like Runes on Bitcoin does. Runes, the like new protocol by Ordinals creator Rod Armor. Because I think that's right. Like Solana has that like very light touch feel where like, I can use Phantom on my phone and just trade meme coins super easy. It confirms really fast. I can get in and out. I don't have to buy, like $1,000 worth. I can just buy whatever amount I want. And so I think that's really, really important for kind of because like part of what makes meme coins run is the social aspect of having a massive number of people being involved in the meme, right? And you need people who are tweeting about it, who are like committed to it, and you can be committed to it at whatever level, right? If you're just putting $20 in because that's what you have this week, you can still tweet about it, and your tweets are just as effective as somebody that has like $2,000 in it. And so I think that like those low fees, really fast confirmation, Solana will like just continue to dominate there. That said, I do think that like Runes is going to be, like Ordinals are these like ridiculously high price, ridiculously high valuation tokens there, and it's there's going to be so many. It's really going to be hard to predict which ones are first. I don't know. Are you guys looking at any of the runes, or have any like feelings
I'm
there?
not. I know it feels like I'm seeing it in so many places that it's going to be a thing, but I kind of feel like Elf, where it's like I think I'm just going to
It's hard to
stay
keep
out of
up.
it. I can't keep up.
Rune Guardians.
I'll just mint
I'm
you
like
some.
pretty like I see them just like connecting with tons of Chads in the space, and they're already back up to like a 0.015 floor after they went down like pretty hard. I just see their team grinding it out from everything I've seen there, and they're living within that ecosystem of like the runes drop. So
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't understand that like barrier though of like why you wouldn't do ordinals. It's exactly the same as Solana or like Polygon or any of it. Because from my perspective, like okay, it's annoying to bridge or whatever, but like the experience of using a web wallet is basically the same other than the block times. Like I've kind of like getting this a bit of zen where I like don't mind bridging anymore, and I'm just like yeah, it's all the same.
I don't
Like
mind.
you
I
just like
don't
hit
mind
confirm.
bridging, and I've been getting into ordinals pretty deep. Is there something different about runes? It just felt like maybe I'm misunderstanding them. Isn't it? You held them and then you got airdrop them, and then but like I missed the airdrop. So what's the point? Or should I just buy them on secondary? You're saying?
Well, okay, so what's happening right now in ordinals is like the runes protocol. For whatever reason, everyone is like agreed that Rod Armor gets to be the benevolent dictator of how runes even works, and that's the protocol we all want to work on, right? Like, great work if you can get it. And so he's just decided that on the day of the halvening, the runes protocol is activated, and that will actually activate being able to trade those tokens like ERC20s. What's happening right now is people have just airdropped like ordinals, like let's call them NFTs. And those NFTs, the longer that you hold it, it just counts towards an airdrop in the future. So nobody's actually trading runes themselves because the runes protocol actually isn't live on Bitcoin. Does that make sense? It's almost like
Yeah.
there's no ERC20s that you can actually trade there. It's just that if you have let's call them miners, the ordinal miners, you're basically getting this like kind of off-chain credit. It's points. It's literally just points for owning an ordinal. That will get you the runes down the line.
What
And so,
ordinals do I need to get?
well, the top one is Risk, RSIC. It's right at the top at
Yeah,
Magic
no,
Eden
I know
right
that
now.
one.
And then the other ones, there's the one with like that little sprite, that little I don't know Pokemon sprite thing, which is called somebody help me out here. What it's called? Runes
Oh
Guardians.
yeah.
That's like number 2. They've come back, and then there's like a few others. There's a few others. The Rune Mania. Rune Mania is another one, and then Derp, and then Anti Derp. So it's just like one of these is going to run. Like you can just see it, right? One of these is going to run to $1 billion token, and it like people are going to make a lot of money, and then you're going to be whining at me that like, why didn't you tell me Dota? And like, but like I don't know which one it is, and that's the problem, is because to actually get one of each of them is probably like 10 grand or 15 grand, and so that's like, but like I don't. It just seems to me that one of these is going to do more than the cost of the sum total of buying one right now.
For me, it's like, didn't some people get them airdrop though?
Yeah, they're
So that's
all
what I'm
air.
saying. Like, it's easy. Like, for me, it's like, there's a difference between getting airdropped and then paying $15,000 for one.
Yeah, I understand where Bear's coming from. He's saying you're pretty much like, it's almost like you're kind of like buying their speculative bags because like you don't like, because like you said, you don't know which one's gonna run. I feel like it's also because like the mechanic. I feel like also it turns off people from getting because of the mechanic of like, oh, the longer you hold it, the more you get. So then it makes people feel like, well, I've already missed out on like 2 or 3 weeks or like a month of it. So like, why would I get it now?
Yeah.
Compared to like, if I got it a month ago for the same price and I'm getting less out of it, So I can understand that viewpoint from it.
So that's a good bear case for these tokens, right? Is that like the people who held them this whole time are the only people who want them, and then you basically have a new competitor, which everyone always called. I don't even know, Rune X or Rune Crystal. I don't know. But you should get one. And anybody who had like 3 inscriptions in their wallet at the time of snapshot will get at least one. And so like surely everybody who holds ordinals on this call will get one.
There's a checker somewhere out there. There's like 100,000 people get it, right? So yeah.
I have some puppets. I think puppets got dropped them, but I bought them too late and I didn't get any.
We like the puppets.
So Dotta, I'm gonna bitch at you. That's correct. You are totally right when that happens. So just prepare yourself.
It's fine. No, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mint you some, and I'm just gonna send them to your wallet like secretly.
And I'll be like, look, I got airdropped, and you'll just be smiling and have
and you can send me a ham for Christmas.
You'll have your arm around Miss Dotta and just be like, look what I did. I'm so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Acid, do you have a Degen coin for us or something else?
Well, you very well might. I don't mean to laugh at that, but I'm guessing that's not what you about.
No, the only one I know of is Soda.
There you go.
Yeah, nice.
But I have DAO updates.
Yeah,
otherwise.
please.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Cool. So we started our meeting Monday with talking about proposal restart lessons learned. There was Reptar had some trouble with the snapshot and getting some proposals up in snapshot, and so afterwards he remembered that there is actually a form that we're supposed to use in order to make that process easier. So in the future, for future proposals, when you submit your proposal, you'll also receive a form to fill out for when we post it on the snapshot. It just makes that process a little more streamlined. The council will try to keep up 2 spaces a month in order to keep up with talking about all the proposals. My goal is to have 3 a month, so that there's one before the submission deadline, so that there's one during the conversation period, and so then there's another one during voting, so that anyone who has to vote can get caught up on all the conversation that's been going on around the proposal. So hopefully, if you're super busy but you really want to vote, you can still pop into one of the 3 spaces. It would be 1 a week. If we could do that, we'll see. But yeah, hopefully that keeps everyone more up to date with what's going on. More counselors have been added to the snapshot. I talked about that a little bit last week, but yeah, that just helps make it a little bit easier for all of us to help participate in getting something done if someone is too busy to work on it. Council calendar will be populated with the dates. So last week I sent out that little calendar in the DAO, How DAO chat, and people seemed to like it, or at least there wasn't any dissent to it. So I even brought it up at the meeting Monday, and no one dissented to anything there. So it seems to be the deadlines kind of are what they are, and I'll repost my final updated version of the calendar, and we'll also get the dates of things up on the Notion page, because there is a calendar up there. And the Notion page is pretty up to date. Reptar and I have gone through and gotten all the pages more or less updated with stuff. I think the main things that are left are updating the bios of council members, the new ones that were elected a few months ago. And then the marketing department is doing their little job of increasing some more communications. So they just gave themselves a little shout out, and that was cute. So that's Sharon, Waz, Tad, and who else? Who am I forgetting? Matto. So, yeah, there was that. And then the other thing on the minutes was legal conversations. There's been a whole back and forth with legal about service agreements and whatnot. So we're expected to get draft agreements of those this week. And then some other invoices have come in to Magic Machine for processing. And that's just kind of like background noise. Another thing that came up was with one of the proposals. There's a whole, and I don't know if Dotta, you want to help me out after I explain this a little bit if I missed
Yep.
anything.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to share this up here, so I'm here for it. I got.
I don't know. Should I?
I don't know. It's up to Reptar, but we're in it now.
Okay. I'm just saying it because we did a vote. We did a vote in the channel. I don't know if you've seen it or if everyone's been busy, but the vote is currently 5, and there are 9 members. So I'm just going off the presumption that we so far have a majority on this. I guess I won't say that it is written in stone, but there's been a little mishap with the quorum requirements for getting proposals passed. So this came up with Brennan's proposal, and even though he had like a 97% approval rate, we still didn't reach the 6,000 House of Wizard tokens required to pass a proposal asking for that much money. So those all things are outlined in our bylaws. They are, unfortunately, I don't think they weren't posted publicly anywhere, so I don't think anyone even really was super aware of this besides when it was written, and maybe it wasn't an issue with the past proposals that have happened, but we ran into this little conundrum. Dotta offered a few options that everyone seemed to talk about a little bit, and the one option that we've all voted on, well, 5 out of 9 of us have voted yes for so far, is to make a proposal to change our bylaws to lower the threshold on the votes needed for that kind of proposal, and make it retroactive so that we don't have to hold another vote to reapprove the thing. It'll just be a change to our bylaws, and we don't have such a holdup, or like, even because the whole thing was we didn't even get 6,000 tokens to vote, and so like in the future, if we don't change these rules, no one will be able to get a proposal that size through, which has its pros and cons. But my personal opinion is that it would just kind of hold us up and put us in a stalemate when we do already have fixed expenses that we have to cover. So that's my opinion. I don't know if anyone else on the council wants to say anything about it.
Yeah, I can chat to that a little bit. So just to repeat what you already shared. Thanks for sharing that, which was like on Brendan's proposal specifically, because of the size of the grant. What basically happens is you put it up for proposal for the board game, which looks incredible, and it got 97% approval. And then when we started going through to actually like fulfill the requirement, it was like, oh, we needed 6,000 votes for a proposal of that size, and we only got 4,000 votes, even though those 4,000 votes were 97% approved. And we're just like, oh, geez, okay. So what do? Do we just pay it out anyway? Well, no. The council exists exactly for this reason, to sort of like fulfill its own rules. Do we say, tough bananas, you didn't get enough votes for you failed? Well, that's dumb, because something that the community overwhelmingly voted for, that everybody wants to see happen, wouldn't actually get made, or we have to try to do another vote, or so we're basically looking into either changing that threshold, which it's not clear to me actually, Acid, if that's something that's within the council's power as a group for us to just change as a council to lower that threshold. If that's already within our bylaws that we have that power to do that, and I think everyone will be super comfortable with that, because it's just like something good for the ecosystem that everybody wants to do. This board game is going to be really fun. But I think there was. I don't know if if the council can vote for that, or if we have to hold another vote. So we'll figure that out and basically tell everyone. But
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's going to get passed, in my opinion. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, but it's just like there's the proceedings that we have to go through, because that's what it means to have a DAO and follow your own rules.
Yep. So then beyond that, I was just going to talk a little bit about, I spoke a little bit about the values thing that I came up with last week. I'm thinking of just putting that forward in a like little community proposal for the DAO, and just that would be a good way to get feedback on it, and then we can either vote it through or we don't, and that might just be, I don't know, we'll see. That's something I got to do. And then the last thing is just awareness about the proposal deadlines. I wanted to do the first space for this round 2 voting on March 11th, which is next Monday. So that's tentative. I haven't talked to anyone else on the council if they would co-host with me, but that's my plan as of now. And then round 2 proposal submission deadlines are March 14th, which is a week from tomorrow. So if you have a proposal that you are interested in putting forward and getting voted on in March, it needs to be submitted by the 14th. And you can get all those details in the HowDAO chat. And the Notion page and all those links are kind of right there. But if you need any information, you can DM me and probably DM anyone on the council, and they'd be happy to help you with directions. And that is it from me.
Very good.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Acid. Thank you for coming up here
Yeah,
every
thank you
week.
guys. Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Acid. And Ted, do you have any updates for us?
No, it's been a bit of a quiet week. The only thing that's still going on, the small souls are still minting, but gas right now is kind of insane, and I don't think that there's an expected stop date, so I would probably hold off for a little while until it's easier to mint on mainnet. But yeah, nothing else new going on, just the DAO proposals that were passed and stuff going on with that.
Cool. Well, in that case, how about we look at the Cult Content Chronicle compiled by
The illustrious
Del Rio, every damn week. I feel like we change it. I feel like Dotta, you and I change. You change it every single week. Now you're doing the first name, and I'm doing the last name. You do Tanya Del Rio, and then I do every damn week. We're gonna get it
Okay, I'll
together
do
in front
that-
of
I'll do that
everybody.
next
Get
week.
it together, you two.
God, we're
Got it.
jokers.
We're trying to have a show here, a professional show. All right. I'm surrounded by a puppet and a dopey bear. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Good luck.
All right, let's jump in. Starting it off, we got Night Owl Birdman with a really fun video with chickens and wizards. It's been a while since I've seen something from Night Owl Birdman, so I'm glad he's making videos again. They're always super fun. And this one is particularly ridiculous. I've never seen this original chicken video, so leave it to Birdman to find a funny chicken video.
It was so good to see a Birdman video again. Oh my God.
Agree. Yeah, that I think that's how we know the bull market is back, when Birdman is making videos. Okay, and then Castamere made a gorgeous sort of Pepe goat meme. Not a meme, but like a portrait. A Pepe portrait of my goat. Let's put it that way. And I mean, it's just beautiful. I imagine everyone else is jealous, especially Bear and Dotta, because you guys don't have one and I do.
I love it. It's so good.
So good. Okay, and then Oz did a really beautiful piece this week. I saw it and thought it's an instant classic. It's a funny thing to think about, like cars in the Runeverse, because we've had that question before on Wizard Wednesday. And I've briefly talked about it. Like, I imagine that like the goblins in Goblin Town, they drive sort of like gangsta Cadillacs. It's always just a difficult image to put into a fantasy setting. Final Fantasy does it really well, but Oz has done it really well because he put it right next to a mecha pony, and it's just a really cool image.
I love that piece. For whatever reason, that one, it's like my favorite piece from Oz. I don't know. It just like speaks to me, I guess, or something, but I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then Oz has given us another piece. I think it's a work in progress for Matt D. Recker. I think it's a kobold warrior from what I can tell. And he looks like he's just had his ass kicked from somebody. So, so looking forward to that one. DowX Lab shared a really fun GM for Wizard Wednesday. I believe the title of this one is Runestone Origin. And then another one from DowX Lab of the Wizard Magus Jabir of the Sacred Pillars. That's a really nice AI gen. I like that one a lot. And then yet another one from DowX Lab of a wizard facing a shadow.
Jeez, is that AI? Because it's so good.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's very cool. This next one from Magus Wazir, either it's AI or Magus Wazir actually got his wizard into an episode of Family Guy.
Magus
Could be either
Wazir
one.
is AI.
Yeah, he could be. But this Family Guy version of Magus Wazir is it's pretty damn adorable. I love it. And then Magus Wazir shared a really fun meme. It says, "My body is a machine that turns 250 milligrams of caffeine into Wizard Alpha." That's true, probably. I can see that. And then Feckless Mage. Feckless Mage has been making some really fun stuff lately. This first one is like a kobold doing some kind of like Professor X psych
Thinking.
attack.
It's so good.
I think it's just
It's
thinking.
so good. I love it. Obviously. Shout out to Feckless. I'm actually in the process of setting an ordinal right now because he makes the coolest kobold stuff.
Yeah, Feckless has been doing a lot of cool stuff lately. Okay, and then Urshan. Actually, this one is really cool. Urshan. It's I've never seen somebody do this where they did it like a mashup of 4 different NFT collections into one character. Such a cool idea. I can't believe I've never seen it before. Maybe Urshan, you might be the first. But yeah, it's super fun. Mala generated a really cool version of their soul. It's got the infamous frog skull. Drawing a frog skull is actually a really kind of difficult thing to do, but this version they nailed it. Cosmic Birds shared a really fun. It's a National Geographic cover with hyenas, and it says "Veggie approve." Veggie is her hyena pet, and I think what's really funny about this particular image is like there's 2 hyenas on this cover, and the one in the background is standing in the exact same pose as Veggie, which I guess that's why Veggie approves, because Veggie is literally on the cover of National Geographic. Justin shared, you know what? I actually don't know what this is, but it looks really interesting.
Oh yeah, so there's a group called Other Page, which makes like these super cool, really clean, like collector pages. So it's like a collector page where you
Oh,
can show off your
yeah.
favorite NFTs. And so he's got his wizard in the foreground, and he's showing off, I think, some other side deeds and so, mutant hound. It looks like.
Yes.
So yeah, the Other Page looks really cool. Other Page HQ. They've done a super good job. They support Wizards. I think we tweeted about them, but yeah,
Yeah.
check it out.
Now that you mention it, I do know what this is, and I love Other Page. It's so cool. Great. Okay. Meeple Dad, continuing with daily riddles. I think we're on day 65. Yeah, and it looks like the last one was a mug of coffee. Super fun. Magic Monday News created a really fun Tombstone Tombstone movie poster with wizards on it, and then their latest episode, special guest Markifying Trade of the Week Molasses. That's fun. Okay, and then yeah, speaking of awesome stuff that Feckless has been making, it's like basically a kobold warrior doing some like Dragon Ball Z sort of warm ups. Super cool. Oh, and then finally, Ian. Ian has just Ian, your 3D work is amazing, man. This fun little like
Yeah.
sneak peek of the Book of Lore. It's so
Yeah.
freaking cool.
I love it.
Yeah, Ian, super talented 3D artist. And I guess that's it for the Cult Content Chronicle.
I guess that's it.
Okay, anything else from anybody?
I love you.
Jitsi, are you good?
I was going to say something witty. I literally, my whole brain is completely empty. Damn it.
Magic.
I got nothing.
Yeah, why
Hey,
don't we
magic,
say
baby.
magic? Let's say magic.
All right. Bear, go back to the bear cave. Jitsi, go back to your DJing table. Dotta, I don't know where you're going, but I know you're busy after Wizard Wednesday. This has been Elf Bear, Dotta, Jitsi, Matatsuki, Tad Major, Acid Ether, and all the Forgotten Runes, or all the Wizards of the Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult, channeling out from the Quantum Downs. GN, everybody.